everyone, this is Caitlin from Stitchy's World. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I wanted to share with you a bride and groom amigurumi that I am working on for a friend at work. So this is by Snacksy's, I believe is the designer's name. And my friend purchased the pattern and picked out some of the colors and things so that we could customize them. So here is the little bride and groom. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about this project and give some of my opinions about the pattern, the yarn I used, and some customization that you can do for your bride and groom if you choose to do one. A cat just came in with a cat toy, so we'll see if she makes a lot of noise. Hopefully not. All right, so let's start with the bride because I made her first. And I guess let me tell you a little bit about the yarn. Some people I know who do these types of amigurumi swear by cotton only. I have actually never done a project in cotton, and the reason is not that I don't like working with cotton, but just I'm super cheap and I want something that has a lot of colors and a lot of availability, and I just pick yarn that I like. So the yarn that I chose for this pattern was from Hobbii, and it was the Amigo yarn. Yeah, the Amigo BFF. And it is considered a worsted weight, though I would say it's a light worsted. And I ordered white, brown for the hair. I wasn't sure about the skin tone that would work best, so I actually ordered two that I thought could work for skin tone. So one was peach and one was sand, I believe it's called. I ended up using the peach, not the sand, for this project. I bought yellow because I thought that my friend was going to choose yellow flowers. At some point we were talking about yellow, but after the shower she saw that all of her flowers were like blue hydrangeas, and she did a lot of blues, so we opted for the blue. But I'll use yellow for something else. Believe it or not, some of the accents I just used like craft yarn that I had bought in a set of like 30 different colors, and this particular one was Ins Craft, from two different kits that I had purchased. So it's nice to be able to use up some of that kind of yarn too, especially when you only need a tiny little bit for a flower or something like that. So as much as I know I wasted money on, in some ways I wasted my money because it's not very high quality yarn, it does the trick, and not every part of your amigurumi needs to be like the highest quality yarn. It's not something you wear, it's just something you look at or play with. I don't know that they'll be playing with this though. If you're curious what hook I used, it looks like I used the 2.25 millimeter, but of course your mileage will vary on how which hook size works best for your crochet. So back to the beautiful bride. She is, you start with her head. I'll just kind of give you the rundown of how she's put together and any kind of challenges that I encountered. You start at the top of the head, you attach the eyes, you continue the head, you stuff. I always wait to do any kind of embroidery on my faces until I'm done with the project, because I think it all kind of ties it together. It's one of those things that, to me, you need to see the whole piece before you add like a mouth. So that's what I did. I waited and I put on the mouth. The hair is separate. I tacked it on because I don't want anyone losing their hair at the wedding. But the hair is separate, which is basically just like the same pattern as the hat, except there's this nice detail of bangs along the front and some curls in the back, which is really sweet. I thought of maybe doing a little flower in the back as well, but the pattern didn't call for it, so I'll ask my friend if she prefers it with or without. Then you do the body. The arms are separate. The body's kind of interesting. You change to white. The dress is on over top of it. I tacked everything down because I want it to stay intact. But the bottom, you end up giving it a dimple in the bottom so that she'll actually stand, which is nice. And I only have polyfill in here. I did not do pellets. I thought about it, but I wanted to keep my cost down. I'm not gonna charge my friend for this, even though it does take many hours to complete. As you know, if you've done any amigurumi, I just don't feel right. It was kind of something that I was like super excited to do for her, and she's paying me, she's given me some money along the way already, even though I said I didn't want her to pay me, but for yarn and materials and stuff. So anyway, the little dimple helps it stand. Then you do the dress, which also ends up helping her stand because it kind of flares at the bottom, and it just gives her a little bit of, I don't know, balance. You tack that on. The little flower bouquet is tacked on, of course. And then these little flowers. One of the things I had trouble with was attaching the flowers to the hair, because I thought a lot of times when I sew on pieces, I sew into every stitch, and I'll grab just the back leg of your edge stitch and sew that in so that it doesn't really affect the look of it. Well, it turns out I don't really need to do that much sewing on this just to keep the flowers in place. It's not for a child, it's for grown people. I don't think they're gonna come off, so I ended up taking the first try out and then just kind of putting a few tack stitches just into the hair, and then the hair goes onto the head. Like I told you, the blue is the color that she chose for the accent color, and I think it's gorgeous, kind of this powder blue. Now, there's going to be a part 2, which I said there would be an accessory, or I might have said customization. We're going to accessorize this bride even further. But first, let me show you the groom, and then we'll talk about what comes next for them. Next is the little groom, and he came out so cute. I just love him. A couple things about him. He's made very much the same way that the bride is made, starting with the head, working your way down the body. The legs are continuous. You don't have to sew on the legs, and then you stop at the end of the legs. Then you make the shoes. Now, this was the first time I've ever made insoles for an amigurumi, but what you do is trace the foot, insert a little piece of cardboard that you cut to size that will fit right inside of the shoe, and then stuff the shoe and attach it to the legs. I was so doubtful that that would work, but it actually does. Now, if a strong wind came, he would not be able to stand up. And obviously my hand is not a stable surface, but I did get him to stand up next to his bride. They're about the same height, which I thought was good. I don't really know. I think in reality, the groom is taller than the bride, but we weren't going for realism. However, we weren't going for realism with this. However, I sent my coworker a couple of pictures of the bride and groom finished, and it's her son who's getting married, my friend, and it was so sweet. She said she and her family all agreed that he really looked like their son, and I just thought that was the cutest thing. A little bit funny, of course, because I know her son is not made of yarn, but it was just so sweet that she was able to see her son in the thing that I made. So I'm getting so much joy out of doing this project. I just saw an end that I missed. I'm gonna have to trim that. The bow tie was very, very cute. A cute detail. I love the details in this pattern. Now that's driving me nuts seeing that. I'm gonna have to trim it. Okay. The groom also has a little bit of bangs around the top, and yeah, that's about all there is to him. So the next step for this little happy couple is they are both big baseball fans. The groom is a Yankees fan and the bride is a Mets fan. So one of the ongoing, I don't know, themes or jokes or inside things about them is that they married into the other team. So my friend got them shirts that say Mets fan, I married into this, and the same for Yankees, I married into this. So what we thought would be super cute is to make them hats, matching hats, one a Mets hat and one a Yankees hat. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Now, this is not something I have a pattern for, but I feel more and more confident daily that I will be able to accomplish this. And what I'm gonna do is take the pattern for the hair and stop it before the bangs and do a brim in a back and forth, and it'll be, I think it'll be similar, very similar to the hair actually. I don't know exactly how it's gonna fit on. I chose yarn that's about the same weight, so I am gonna have to just make it a little bit wider in order to fit on top, and I'll show you the colors I have for that. So for the Yankees, I'm doing the dark blue and the white, and for the Mets, I'm doing this bright blue with orange detailing. And the detailing, fingers crossed, I'm going to test my embroidery skills. I do like to embroider, so I feel like I should be able to do it. And I'm just gonna do like the simple NY Yankees thing, not like the bat with the hat on it and glove, I think. And to be honest, I don't even know the Mets. I don't even know the Mets logo. Is it just the word Mets? It's not an M, is it? It's not NY. I think it's just Mets. I'm gonna have to obviously look this up. The backup plan was to order a little embroidered like emblem or whatever to sew on, but I don't even know if they make them that small, like a little patch. I guess I could go on Etsy and see if there's somebody who would design it, but I think I should be able to embroider this without too much of a problem. So anyway, that's the plan. I wanted to share it with you before I get too far into it, and if I have any progress on the hats, I'll put that clip in here after. But I'm in the process of rearranging my office once again, so I just figured let me sit down and film this before things get even more up on end as they already are. Hopefully it doesn't look too chaotic. I think you just have some lights behind me. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.